Hi, this is Breeze108 doing another video for my sister. Video 5, this one is on vegetation. She was asking me about this. So, vegetation, you get more vegetation by bone meal. So, we're going to push our middle mouse button, click it once, and this will drop into your hotbar. And these are things that'll grow from bone meal. Now, we have oak trees, spruce saplings, birch, acacia, which is the wrong pronunciation, dark oak, and jungle saplings. So we will grow a few of these for a demonstration. Okay, let's start a forest over here. So put one down, one oak sapling, bone meal it. You got, oh boy, we grew a big one. They don't usually grow that big. Got to get a little bit away from them to grow the next one. We have a cedar. We are going to grow, oh, spruce, sorry. Well, spruce is a cedar. Bone meal that. Sometimes it takes a minute. I'll get a little farther away. There we go. And then we have our birch. Nice birch tree. And the one I hate to try to pronounce. And this one's cool. I like them. I like their wood too. It's interesting. Now, dark oak and jungle, you have to grow a little bit different. Dark oak, you have to make a group of 4. And bone meal, and look at that, just 2, and you get a really big one. Jungle, if you put down 1 and bone meal it, you get 1 tree. It's a little short for a jungle tree, usually a little taller than that. But if you put down 4, and bone meal these, takes a little longer. Whoa, look at that, a little bit of lag there. You get a huge tree. So let's see what we've got over here. And with the jungle trees, you get vines, which grow. They will actually grow and reach the ground eventually. So let's go over this direction, and we will go down till we can see what we got. Now, if you want, I have found like a wall of oak trees, or of oak wood. You can put a bunch of oak saplings in a row like this and bone meal them. Now this works in survival too. And you can grow yourself an oak wall. Get a nice wall. Then you can remove your leaves if you want and have a nice wall of oak. Or you could make a big square oak, huge oak tree that way. Make a nice tree house. Now, to get rid of the trees, we're going to leave those there, but we'll grow one more so that I can show you. If you want to get rid of them quick, obviously you don't need an axe or anything in creative, but if you just break the wood, as long as it's not the, ooh, this is really close. I don't know if this will work. Let's break that one. As long as the leaves aren't touching any other wood, yes, they will disintegrate. The leaves will disintegrate eventually, one by one, slowly over time, and they will drop saplings, as you can see. We have 2 saplings and one was up there. It'll fall. And also, oak trees, and dark oak too, they drop apples. But you see we have an apple up here. There it is. And you can actually eat the apples, except in creative you don't need to eat them. But it's a minor source of food in survival. So let's get rid of all these. Push Shift and the X and it'll destroy anything in your hotbar in creative. And we're going to go on to flowers. So I'm going to put one of each of these in our hotbar and talk about flowers. Now these are tall flowers. Okay, So to propagate tall flowers, I wish it was this easy in real life, you take your bone meal and you just throw it on there, and new plants pop out of nowhere. Look at that, new flowers, just, oh boy, they're everywhere. We ended up with a whole bunch of new flowers. Now, there's a lot of smaller flowers too. To get those, you just pick a clean spot on the ground and drop the bone meal on it, and you'll have flowers popping up everywhere, mostly everywhere, not always everywhere. Oh, leaves also drop sticks too, which sort of makes sense when you think about it. So anyway, you can get a lot of flowers this way. I have a very nice tutorial on how to build a good flower farm if anybody is interested in that. It's on my page. That is one thing I really know how to do, a good one, better than anybody else's I have ever found. Okay, so enough of my bragging. We are going to press Shift and click the X and destroy those items and come back, center mouse button, click that, and now we are going to talk about ferns and grass and bamboo and 2 types of mushrooms. There's only 2 types. And the soil to grow the mushrooms on. Okay, so ferns. You get little fern and big fern in creative. Okay, but if you're not in creative or you change your mind, rather than changing your fern, you can bone meal a little fern and it turns into a big one. Very simple. So, little fern, bone meal, big fern. But little ferns are cute too. Okay, grass. If you want big grass, you bone meal it and you got big grass. And I noticed nothing else grew. That's because the bone meal was aimed just specifically at that one grass hitbox. If you aim at the ground, then you get a whole bunch of things growing. Now we have the mushrooms. Now mushrooms have a requirement, what is called a light requirement. It can't be bright, it can't be full sun, it has to be pretty shady. I was looking this up. To grow naturally, they need a light level of 12. Now your light level is found in your second paragraph, 5th line down. It says client light 14. Okay, so that's where I'm standing. If I get underneath here, it's a little darker. I can probably put a mushroom there. Yes, I can. They will stay there. Whereas if I tried to put them out here, you can click your mouse all day long and they're not going to stay. But underneath trees, see, that's not dark enough. Here we have this area. This is dark enough. So if you want to grow a mushroom out in the open, then you have to put either podzol or mycelium. Podzol is a lot easier to find if you're in survival because it's in different types of forest areas. So we will grow one on podzol and one on mycelium. Let's put them a little farther apart. So you've got your little tiny mushrooms and they're so cute. But if you want a big mushroom, I don't even think, Nancy, you've seen one of these. You bone meal it a few times and you get a nice big mushroom. Look at that. They don't all grow exactly the same height. Sometimes the brown ones are a little shorter, sometimes the red ones are a little taller, but you can grow yourself some nice big mushrooms this way. Let's see if we get one that's the same. That one's just a little bit different, as you can see. The tops are pretty much the same as the stems that are different lengths. Yeah, that one's a little shorter. So, you get different mushrooms. So, now we got a mushroom forest and a tree forest and flowers all over the place. Gee, it's starting to look like home. Okay, so the next group, let's get rid of these. Hold on a second. Let's see, what am I doing? The next group is things that need water to grow. So we have sugarcane and seeds, and with seeds we need a hoe, And then we have underwater plants here, seagrass, kelp, and sea pickles. I don't think there's any such thing as a sea pickle, at least not like the ones in Minecraft. So, if you want to grow sugarcane has to grow next to water. So, you have to have a water source. Now, sugarcane will grow either on sand or regular dirt, doesn't matter. But you have to have water for the sugarcane to grow. You put it down, and if you bone meal it, oopsie, don't have any bone meal. It's not growing fast. That's weird. I could have swore that if you bone mealed sugarcane it would grow. But anyway, if you need a lot of bone meal, sugarcane in creative, you can just add on to the top as high as you want to go and just keep adding. You can't do that in, well, actually you can do it in survival. They'll only grow 3 tall, but you can add to it as far as you want. Now, if you take away the water, they will die eventually. Maybe not immediately, but they will die eventually. We'll come back to that. Okay, then we have our fish tank. Oh, isn't that cute? Anyway, we're going to go inside the fish tank. And since we're in survival, we don't drown. And the fish, I put sort of too many fish in here for a tank this size. Okay, so we have kelp. And it doesn't grow well with bone meal either, but you can add on top of it. Well, that one just grew all by itself. Look at that. You can add, if on the top of the hitbox, if you see where the little cross is, if you put it on the side and click your right mouse button, nothing helps. But if you put it on the top square, then it'll grow. Now it'll only grow obviously up to the top of the water there. There we go. Now seagrass is the same thing. If you want it taller, you click it, and will it get any taller? I think it will get taller. You can add to it. I thought I've seen really tall seagrass. Anyway, and then sea pickles. Now, if you bone meal pickle on sand, nothing happens. But if you put one, now this is coral. We talked about coral the other day. If you bone meal a sea pickle on coral, you get a whole bunch of them real quickly. Cool. Now you can put more than one on sand. You can put up to 4, I think, yeah. But you can't bone meal the ones on sand. So that's your water. So now as you see, the sugarcane here dropped off. Okay, now the other one is seeds. So to grow seeds you have to have water. You have to have water within 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can grow them after 4 blocks, but it takes a longer time. So you hoe it by right clicking on the ground with the hoe. If you left click, it'll break the ground. You don't want to do that, at least in survival. And you see that got water saturated because it's right next to the water. And then you put your seeds down. The rest of them will turn that dark brown in a minute or 2. Now, if you want things to grow fast, you bone meal it. And things have a couple of different growth stages. So it takes more than 1 bone meal, sometimes 3, to get the wheat up to the proper height. Now, if I just break these in survival, in creative, it just breaks. You don't get anything from it. But if I was in survival and broke it, I would get a wheat. Hold on, wheat. Alright, there we go. You get one of these if you broke it in survival. And 3 of those makes a piece of bread. So then our last thing is our cactus. So cactus only grows on sand. Gee, big surprise there, huh? So put sand down and your cactus, okay? You can't bone meal cactus. You've got to let it grow by itself. It takes a while to grow. It will grow up to 3 tall, but you can grow it as tall as you want by adding onto it in creative. Now you can't add to the sides. As a matter of fact, oops, I didn't mean to do that. You can't, even with sand, you can't put a cactus right next to it. That's because there are little pokey things sticking out there. Now if you're in survival and you bump up to a cactus, you get damage. So anyway, if you want cactus, they've got to be 1 block apart. You can't put them right next to each other. Okay, so were we gonna look at something else? Over here, our tree that disappeared. I guess it disappeared already. Okay, so I think that's about it for this. There's one more of this. We will be talking about farming in another video because I'm trying to keep these 10 minutes-ish. So, got a nice little scene here, don't we? That's it. Signing off. Bye-bye, guys.